Hey guys, today I've got a video for you at the request of My Dakota Blue, who suggested that I show you guys how to camouflage an airsoft sniper rifle. If you want to go check him out, you'll find My Dakota Blue's channel link in the description. But without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. And you might ask, well, what am I going to do it with? And well, here's your answer. Cargo shorts. This is a pair I used up long ago. They were too small for me and I've used them in other projects as well. You can see here on my M14 I made a butt pad out of the left leg of these pants, so I'm about to utilize the rest of them to camouflage the sniper rifle. So I'm just going to start off with the scope. I'm just using the waistband of what used to be the pants. I'll show you the gist of how I do this. I'm just weaving this through for now. So I finished wrapping most of the scope. On the cargo shorts themselves there are these little ties to keep your shorts from falling down, I guess, and I'm just using those and tying them around the belt loops, and in this case here where the button would go through, I'm just tying those little bands around it, and then I'm using that to kind of keep them in place, and then I'll tie this one on as well. So now that I've got the scope all finished and wrapped up, I'm going to be moving on to the barrel. So what I'm going to be using for the barrel is just a little strip which I think came from the leg, and I'm just going to wrap it around like this, make sure it's super tight, and come back here on the other side. That should be fine. I'm going to grab a rubber band and just stick it on the end here for now, just to hold it in place. I'll tighten it later. Now on the back end, you want to make sure that all this fabric gets folded under a little bit as well. Keep it tight like it was in the front. But since this rubber band is a little bit bigger, I'm going to be wrapping it around a couple of times. And I'm just going to slide it down the barrel. Now that that one's in place, I'm going to come back to the front, undo this one so I can tighten it a little bit more. And then coming over to the front, make sure it's tight again. Just loop this over the front of the barrel. So this is what the barrel looks like now. The rubber bands don't stick out too much. They're a little bit different color, but from far away you're not going to be able to tell too much. Now we're going to be moving on to the butt of the gun. I've got a little piece of fabric here, and this looks like it used to be a front pocket. And pull it over. And that'll do for now. So what I'm going to do here is take a combination of rubber bands to secure this kind of together. It won't be permanent, but at least temporary, so you could take this off whenever you want. So this is what the stock will look like when I'm finished. It's a little bit messy, I know, but it'll get the job done. Those rubber bands don't stick out too much, and they're holding it in place, so I think it'll do the job quite nicely. Now to move on to the center portion of the gun, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because I do have to remember that there's a mag slot here and I don't want to cover that up, so I'm going to leave this area probably a little bit black. Then I'll also leave the area here, the RIS rail mount for a bipod. I'll leave that open so you can still attach stuff, but work around the other stuff just to cover it up a little bit. Moving up to the weave rail mount, what I'm going to do is take this piece, which I guess was a back pocket at one point, kind of hard to tell now, but I'm going to have the hole over it, and then I'm going to pull this other piece back through to kind of slip around, and we'll pull this over and tuck this in. That way it covers it up, covers up the RS rail mount, but if you want you can spread this apart a little bit, and then you can put your bipod on or whatever you want, and I'll show you that when we're all done here. For the center portion of the gun here, I have a piece of fabric that I've cut down the middle, and this is going to come around the scope, so this will go underneath and stop at the first rail mount, and then this way the rest will drape over without covering up the mag slot or the mag release button, so it'll just kind of drape over the sides like this, and then I'll attach these. Also for this portion you'll notice that I'm taking the sling off of its mount so I can get rubber bands over the barrel to be able to attach this. So you can see I have it draped already over the gun on both sides, and then these little tassels are hanging off the end. I'm going to be taking just a average size rubber band, pulling it over the barrel, and then this is going to hold this in place for the time being. So you can see I already took a rubber band and pulled it over the barrel to attach it right here, and underneath is going to be open for the mag slot. These are just going to drape over the sides. The next step is going to be to work on attaching these two ends, and I'll do that right now. So what I did with those two little end pieces is just put them through. This one came from this side under the scope onto this side. It's now here, same with the other one, and I'm just going to tie these two together on top, and that'll secure it in place for the time being. I've gone ahead and put one more rubber band here to secure these flaps in place, and that one's a little bit more noticeable. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this last little strap, and these were the ends of the legs on the shorts, and I'm going to be wrapping it around over and over again to cover that rubber band up, and then just tie it off, and then we'll be finished. And I've gone ahead and finished that little bit, so I think I'm finished. I was sure to leave this spot open. You can peel this flap back a little bit so you can put a bipod there, which I'll show you now. So we've got everything covered and nothing's interfering with anything at all. Bipod's on, scope and the butt are covered. There was only one thing that I covered up that I didn't mean to, and that was the hop-up selector switch, which is under here, but I have it set to what I usually use it on, so that's not such a big problem for me. And the only thing that's not camouflage now is the grip and the trigger guard, but those need to be left open because the bolt is there. Again guys, you have My Dakota Blue to thank. His channel will be in the description. And to My Dakota Blue himself, thank you very much for suggesting this video. I had a lot of fun making this, and I've got a pretty good looking sniper, I think. That's all I've got for this video guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you in the next one.